Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the game of Wei Qi and how, looking from the perspective of a Wei Qi player and then seeing the earth, the whole world, the global, as the map, as the floor plan for Wei Qi game, you will inevitably come to one conclusion if you're a Wei Qi player. I know not many Americans play Wei Qi, but then, Wei Qi is a very old game, 5,000 years old. It started from China. And the top strategists in China are usually good in Wei Qi. Now, looking at the world map, you have one question, and you look at the US bases. I mean, outside of US, there are more than 800. That's why I put the black seats. Now, if you see the diagram that I put on top, US, black seats represent the US bases, and then you find it all spread out of the world. And in particular, look at China. It is really encircling China. So you look at it and you ask one question: why? Why is US at odds with the world that it has to put 800 military bases all over the world? And you'll find that inevitably, that Americans themselves will start to feel that why should US be having that many bases, military bases overseas, especially you don't have a fantastic economy anymore. Maybe it's time to scale down. It's time to relook at the world, and then cast away the old mentality of the Cold War. One thing very odd, and of course I always felt that it's very hard for someone to switch from a successful model. After World War II, US had been, in a way, the savior of the world, They saved the world after World War II, and it was enabled the economy to recover and so on and so forth. But then you find that, like it or not, US found military to be profitable. Therefore, you have this military-industrial complex. But the question now is that the world has changed. The world has been transformed. It's just like the US. It's just like the Qing dynasty. The Qing dynasty couldn't progress. Why? Because Qing dynasty was locked into an old mentality. Therefore, I believe that of course, I don't take sides in politics, but Trump was right in one aspect, and that he wanted America to go home. Or I use the phrase "Yankee go home," because to refocus on the home economy and rebuild the economy. I mean, you have so much problems within America, not outside America, but within America that needs a lot of fixing. And do that before the US dollar kaput or drops, And one thing I find amusing is that war has just been transformed now. Now there's not just war, but it's war with sanctions. So war and money goes together, hand in hand. And the fearful thing that I want to make across to you is that that from Wei Qi perspective, that your surrounding and there was Wei Qi is a game that was played before the emergence of nuclear warhead. Now, the other thing which I fear most is that you do not push a leader to a corner. With your sanction, with all this thing, when you push a country to a corner, and as such a big country like Russia, I'm afraid that you may have something will happen that is so unpredictable. Why did Germany go to war in World War II? It's because of the treaty, the Versailles Treaty, that really was too much to bear by the German people. That's why we had a Second World War, and we are repeating the same mistake. And the worst thing is, America couldn't get themselves out of the mindset. Honestly, is there a need for NATO? I mean, especially after Berlin Wall has fallen. And Soviet Union has said, look, we don't want to be communists anymore. We want to join the world. We want to revitalize our economy, and and what happened? Right? NATO grew instead, by having more and more states. So, in other words, I have a theory, and that is that America is so used to having enemy, so that you can sell your guns and your weapons and your weaponry, right, to fight. You need like a boxing ring. You need an opponent, And it's so sad that that mindset really shouldn't be locked into, right? For the world, what is now the world now is working through UN, and we can build a harmonious society. And you have a very good model. China is a very good model for success. China has transformed half the population out of poverty, and that is a good model to go by for other countries. And if America will continue this path of having to create an enemy, and then having to what they call having alliances, and was fostering war, then what could happen will be, because it's nuclear now, World War III will be nuclear, then US cities may well be the next Nagasaki or Hiroshima. Why? Because ancient Chinese believe in karma, the law of karma. No countries in the world have used nuclear bomb against innocent people, except the US. So I think it is time, really is time, that we should all take a lesson from Ukraine and Russian conflict, that open our eyes and say, look, the world should be at peace. And the worst thing is that despite internet, everybody is locking up the other party from broadcasting the news. So nobody has, a fair view. We thought that with internet age, with news going around, that people can then judge. But it's unfair system. The media is one-sided. Well, thank you for listening in. Thank you.